Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk about a couple of the pros and cons in using YouTube as an educational tool. Overall, I think the pros outweigh the cons, but let's talk about a couple of each and see how we feel at the end. So starting with the pros, YouTube is accessible from anywhere in the world at any time, and I think that this makes it one of the strongest pros that you can come up with. It's especially ideal for a flipped classroom in sharing the material from teachers to students. The second pro that I think is very useful is that it's basically a free service. Anyone can use YouTube and anyone can access YouTube for free. The third pro that I think is that it allows the classroom to extend into the home, which also makes it very convenient for students. So students can access the material that they need to learn at any time that's convenient for them. Another pro that I think is that it's an amazing network between teachers and students, meaning that teachers and students can network with each other, sharing material back and forth and posting their assignments on YouTube. The last pro that I think, or one of the last pros that I think, is that the vast amount of material that's available on YouTube is invaluable. I think that this brings one of the most amazing sources of education to a student, in that the material that they can access is from all over the world, and it takes their experience into a much broader realm than they could have had without the access of YouTube and the amount of material that they can view. The last pro that I think is especially valuable is that for those students that may be hearing impaired, there is the hearing impaired button that allows students to read what is happening in the YouTube video, and that allows them to understand on a broader level than they could have without that CC access. So starting to look at some of the cons, I would say information can be uploaded from anyone, anywhere, which makes it not always a valuable tool with reliability. The time that it would take to research out everything you see on YouTube is just too numerous to count. The hours that would take to research everything is just too vast, and it's just not easily something that we can do. So I think that that's one of the biggest cons, is that the information that we see on YouTube may not always be truthful. So that is the largest con that I can see right now. The second con that I have found with YouTube as an educational tool is that information may not be censored, and that makes it inappropriate for younger students. One of the other cons that I have found is that you need the internet to access YouTube, and not all households, we have found recently, have internet. There's a very large amount of underprivileged homes that are not able to have internet because they simply can't afford it. So that's one of the other cons that I have found. A couple of the last ones that I found is that you will be getting bombed with advertisements, which means that YouTube can be very distracting because you're not always getting just the straight material that you need without advertisements popping up at inconvenient times. And speaking of distractions, one of the other cons that I have found with YouTube is that it's really easy to get distracted with those cute cat, kitty, and puppy and dog videos that people post. They're so cute and they're so fun and they warm our hearts, but they can be very distracting, and we can lose a huge amount of time while trying to do our studies on YouTube with the cute kitten and puppy videos. Lastly, the last con that I found was that you're not able to filter your content. So this may offer violent or inappropriate material for younger students. Overall, I think that YouTube is an amazing educational tool, and it adds so much value to the classroom that I think overall, even with the pros and cons, I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons. So thanks for watching. I hope this added some value to whether or not you want to use YouTube as an educational tool.